Good morning, St. Francis, and good morning, people of God. It is Thursday, the 29th day of December 2022. It is Thursday of Christmas week. It is the fifth day of Christmas, the fifth day within the Christmas octave. So we have moved now away, in one way, from the Comites Christi, the Companions of Christ, St. Stephen, St. John the Evangelist, and Holy Innocents, again, that follow Christmas and give a sobering idea of what Christmas is all about. But it doesn't really end there. We're going to see in a moment how that sobriety continues even today. But just to let you know where I am, because it is Christmas week, I must be in Manhattan, and there I am. Lower Manhattan this time. There is City Hall behind me, and over here is the Surrogate Court right there. Right behind me is Ben Franklin over there. Yep. But it is a beautiful day here in Lower Manhattan, which is really where you want to go, because Midtown is crazy and the rest of Manhattan can be rather nutsy. But the financial district, which is odd when you think about it, is one of the quieter, more open spaces in New York, other than Central Park. So just as a tourist note, when you come if you ever come to Manhattan, get to Lower Manhattan. Tomorrow, hopefully, St. Paul's Chapel and Trinity Church are down that way, right behind me. And I think maybe tomorrow I'll try to do a little thing from there. But anyway, today's then Pace, in case you were looking for colleges, Pace University is right behind me over here. Let's see, today's readings, again, we continue with the first letter of John, again, which offers important reminders about what it means to be a person who follows Christ. And to be a person who follows Christ, this basically says that you don't get angry, or that you don't let anger become hate. Anger is okay, but anger should never become hate, because if you say that you are a person of faith and you are a person of the light, and yet you hate your brother or your sister, then you are basically in darkness, because that is what darkness breeds. It breeds hate. Anger happens and it is there, but anger needs to move into reconciliation. It needs to move back into love. It basically moves back into understanding. But if it does not, and it lingers and becomes hate, well, then that's no way for a believer to be witness in the world, to act in the world, to be a part of this world. And so the important thing, again, God brings Christ into the world out of love, not out of judgment, not out of condemnation, not out of trying to show us up or trying to make us feel worse about ourselves than we already are. God brings Christ into the world. God comes into the world so that we might understand what it means to love, and be able to embrace love and live out of love in a more fuller and more wonderful, more tangible, more incredible way. That kind of sense of what love is and what love is required, what love requires of us, is given a hint at in the gospel today, in which again, we continue with the experiences of the infancy narratives, and this one leads us to today. The gospel today goes to a presentation of the Lord in the temple, and so, and only this time it is Jesus, when he's presented in the temple, encounters two people, Simeon and Anna. Today we only hear about Simeon, but what Simeon says about the child that is striking, that he will be the downfall and the rise of many, that he will be assigned to be contradicted. And then he says of Mary, and your heart will be pierced by a sword. Again, Simeon's projections come, in light of what has already transpired in the gospel, in the life of Christ, in one way. Oops, I didn't move this over like this. There we go. They have a historical point, but then that historical point also then moves from the experiences that Luke has had of Jesus's life, and so there is a sense in which the foreshadowing of Mary's heart being pierced and what will occur within it is part of that prophecy, but also then manifested because of what actually does happen with Mary at the foot of the cross. In any event, again, this child, this cooing, wonderful little baby, everybody wants to cuddle and coddle and whatever it is going to be a sign of discomfort, a sign of challenge, a sign that, again, that will be contradicted by so many people, be used, manipulated in so many ways, because what this child brings in the message, what Christ brings in his message as he grows and becomes who he is meant to become, is something that not everyone's going to want to hear, listen to, obey, take into their own lives. Again, and that will lead to all kinds of division, all kinds of pain. Again, the sobriety of this Christmas season, not just frivolity, not just joy and happiness and silliness and whatever it is, but the fact that human history has begun to change, that human history continues to change every time we recall and remember the birth of this child is important. It's important always for us to remember, because if we lose sight of that, then we lose sight of the power of Christ in our life, of the reality and truth of God interacting with us and journeying with us in life, the truth of a God who basically comes to transform all that we know into what it is meant to be. I continue blessed Christmas, St. Francis and people of God, and may the Lord give you his peace.